memory with sharpened teeth still living in my head. Every promise that you left became a fracture in my chest, and every love you turned to smoke the moment that you left. I try to hold the pieces but they cut me as they fell. I wear the scars like letters in a language made of hell. I chase the echoes of a hope that never learned to stay. Held on to ghosts that told me lies just so I wouldn't stray. You built a kingdom out of fear and dressed it up as fate. I lived inside the walls you made and learned to suffocate, and I keep crawling through the echoes of the life we tore apart, searching for less of me beneath your dying heart.
Burn me down again, let the fire write the truth you never said. I'm just the ashes of my name, drifting through the wreckage of the games we played.
Every lie became a
flame, and now I rise with nothing left to say. Let the smoke erase the blame. I'm stronger in the ashes of my name.
I still remember every promise melting into rust. The way your silence felt like knives disguised as fragile trust. I walked the edge of who I was, just trying to fit your shape, until I lost myself beneath the weight I couldn't escape.
Together's truth is learning how to stand when you're alone, to hear the sound of feeling from the cracks and broken bones.
And I don't need forgiveness as I finally walk away. All the ghosts you left behind are fading with the day. Burn me down again, let the fire write the truth you never said. I'm just the ashes of my name, drifting through the wreckage of the games we played.
Every lie became a flame, and now I rise with
Nothing left to say.
Let the smoke erase the blame.
I'm stronger in the ashes of my name.
Let the embers fall like rain. I won't bend, I won't break again. What you took, I reclaim. Every piece, every flame, every part of the pain. Let the wind take what remains. The sorrow, the fear, the weight of your chains. I am more than what was slain. I am born again from the ashes of my name.
Burn me down again, I'll rise higher than the fire that you fed. I'm just the ashes of my name.
But even ruin has a place from where it can be saved.
Every scar became a claim,
A declaration.
carved into my veins.
I finally see
Who I became. I'm alive in the ashes of my Rise again. My name restored. When silence learns to tremble, I hear your heartbeat through the cracks, and something warm begins to rise, pulling morning from the black. Ooh.
I've been wandering through quiet rooms that echoed old perfumes, fragments of a world I knew before it slipped from me to you. My footsteps trembled in the dust, my hands still shaking out of trust. But when your shadow touched the door, the quiet wasn't quiet anymore.
I carry storms beneath my ribs, the kind no one could see or fix. Nights stretched long like fragile threads, pulling tight between unsaid. But suddenly your gentle sound shifted something deep unbound. A single breath of softened ache, a spark before the quiet break. And all the fears I used to chase start falling into light.
places I've been drowned. But then you touch my trembling mind and show me hope I left behind. You lit the corners I forgot, the dreams I swore I'd never spot. You held the pieces that I dropped and whispered softly, you're enough.
And now the echoes finally shake, like walls that time will never make. After the quiet breaks, you lift the weight the night creates. Every tear that filled the dark turns to rivers through my heart. And step by step the morning wakes. I rise after the quiet range. After the quiet range. You stayed when all the colors bled. You stayed when light had turned to red. Your touch rewrote the words I kept, the ones I hid, the ones I wear. And now I breathe a different air, one born from gentleness you shared. You held my soul until it shook, until the quiet finally broke.
After the quiet breaks,
After the quiet breaks, I feel the world beneath me quake. The past unravels thread by thread, no longer whispering in my head. I stand in light that overtakes. I rise after the quiet breaks. After the quiet, I wait, I break free. Time pulls falling back into itself. Breath hanging cold in the dark.
I heard the quiet crack tonight, a trembling line, a breaking light. The world was holding in its breath, like it had something left unsaid. Your shadow stretched across the floor, a memory I still adore. But even gentle things can fade, like winter ghosts we once had made.
And where the quiet breaks, I feel your heartbeat trembling in the space between the words we never spoke, between the vows we never wrote.
And in the silent ache, I find the pieces time forgot to take, where all the fragile memories shake.
That's where I find you. I trace the echoes of your steps. They led through storms and small regrets. You always said that healing takes the shape of all the hearts it breaks.
But I kept walking toward the sound of something lost, not newly found. A version of the both of us, before we learned to fear our trust. If love is quiet, then maybe breaking is the way it learns to speak.
And where the quiet breaks, I feel your heartbeat trembling in the space. You're every echo I can't chase, every truth I still can't face.
let it break.
Let it break.
Let it tear the sky apart for us.
Let it shake.
All the fears we couldn't name or trust.
Let it break.
All the unspoken things we never learned. Let it glow.
Maybe breaking is the only way to grow. Where the quiet breaks, I still hear you in the spaces between what we almost became. And as the crumbles, I hear your heartbeat through the cracks, and something warm begins to rise, pulling morning from the black.
I've been wandering through quiet rooms, rooms that echoed old perfumes, fragments of a world I knew before it slipped from me to you.
My footsteps trembled in the dust,
My hands still shaking out of trust.
but when your shadow touched the door, the quiet wasn't quiet anymore.
I carry storms beneath my ribs, the kind no one could see or fix. Nights stretched long like fragile threads, pulling tight between unsaid. But suddenly your gentle sound shifted something deep unbound. A single breath, a softened ache, a spark before the quiet breaks.
And all the fears I used to chase start falling into lighter space. And after the quiet breaks, your voice becomes the dawn I chase. Every shadow falls apart, drifting from my weary heart. The darkness tries but never stays. Not after the quiet breaks.
Hey, makes.
I learned to speak without a sound, to hide the places I've been drowned. But then you touched my trembling mind and showed me hope I left behind.
You lit the corners I forgot, the dreams I swore I never spot. You held the pieces that I dropped and whispered softly, you're enough.
And now the echoes finally shake, like walls that time will never make.
And after the quiet breaks,
You lift the weight the night creates. Every tear that filled the dark turns to rivers through my heart. And step by step the morning wakes. I rise after the quiet breaks.
you stayed when all the colors bled. You stayed when light had turned to red. Your touch rewrote the words I kept, the ones I hid, the ones I wept. And now I breathe a different air, one born from gentleness you shared. You held my soul until it shook.
Until the quiet finally broke. After the quiet breaks, I feel the world beneath me quake. The past unravels thread by thread, no longer whispering in my head. I stand in Every step a breaking bone. The sky hung low like a whispered blame. The night too cold to call my name.
I kept my hope in fragile jars, hid them underneath the scars. But even bruised, I tried to stand until your light brushed through my hand. Yeah, you found me where the silence fed, in battles I fought in my head. You didn't ask the reasons why, you only looked me in the eye.
And something in your steady breath pulled me back from edges of death. Your presence broke the walls within, a place where shadows used to win.
The dark can't keep its hold tonight. Your voice is shaping new sunlight.
We rise where shadows end, beyond the hurt we used to defend. Every wall becomes a guide, every fall turns into stride. Side by side we learn to mend. We rise where shadows end.
Learning the language of my pain, but then you held me steady, true. I said you're more than what broke you. I let those words sink in my chest, slow at first, but then they pressed. And in the warmth I dared to see a better version made with you and me.
We rise where shadows end, where every fear begins to bend. Our steps are heavy, but they shine, carved by strength in your hand and mine. Nothing left for us to pretend. We rise where shadows end.
Let the morning flood our lungs, watch the night from which we sprung. Let the daylight find our skin, bare and brave as we begin. All the tears we never named, all the storms we felt ashamed, now become the proof we send. We survive with shadows. With shadows.
We rise where shadows end, stronger than the nights that tried to bend. Through every heartbreak, every scar, we learned exactly who we are. And now, together, hand in hand, we stand in light that can't be dimmed. We rise again. We rise where shadows end. We rise again. We lost my voice and nights too loud. My thoughts became a storming cloud. The ache I kept beneath my bones felt heavier when I was alone.
I try to hide in endless sleep, to bury what I couldn't keep. But shadows know the cracks we fear, and whisper truth we won't let near.
Then you arrived without a sound. Your presence warm, your heartbeat profound. You didn't push, you didn't pry, just stayed until my tears ran dry.
Just breathe, you said a quiet plea,
and something loosened deep in me.
the night I carried like a chain,
Slowly loosened, link by chain.
and in the dark your gentle tone told me I'd never face it alone.
Breathe me back to morning. Breathe me back to morning. Hold me when the dark is forming. Let your heartbeat guide the light to every corner lost at night. Stay with me the shadows from returning. Every whisper that you send teaches broken parts to mend. Let your voice become the way that leads me through the end of night. Into the cradle of daylight.
Into the cradle of daylight. If you shake, I'll hold you. If you fall, I'll go with you. If you break, I won't let go. Just breathe. Breathe with me. We'll wake the morning slow.
Bring me back to morning. Every fragile hope restoring. Let your warmth rewrite the past. Teach my heart to beat at last. And as the sunrise claims the sky, pull me close and lift me high. In your light I'm finally forming.
You bring me back to
Back to light with you. Breathing slow in fading glow. Colors hum where shadows go. Your outline moves inside the mist. A memory the dawn once kissed.
We walked inside a world half dreamed, where nothing felt the way it seemed. The sky was low, the stars were thin, as if unsure of where to begin. Your hand brushed mine, a trembling spark, a distant fire in the dark. It warmed the corners of my chest.
A fragile place that feared to rest.
I spoke in echoes, gentle, small, afraid my truth would make you fall. But you just smiled and held your breath, as if my words were heaven's death. The half-light wrapped around our skin, a soft reminder, start again. And in that shade where doubts reside, you pull me gently to your side.
Every fear I thought I'd keep slowly melts as shadows sleep. Hearts in the half-light, finding their way through the silent night. Soft as a whisper on skin so warm, guiding us through every quiet storm. Stay with me where dawn feels right. Two hearts in the half-light.
We trace the edges of our pain, like maps rewritten by the rain. Your voice a calm and breaking seas, unfolded everything in me. Don't run, you said we'll make it through. The morning always finds its hue, and in that moment time stood still, as light and dark bent to our will.
The one unspoken, softly open.
inside the sea. If we rise, then rise as one, like silhouettes against the sun.
All the scars we never showed turn to lanterns on this road, and every fear we try to hide breaks soft when you're here by my side. Hearts in the half-light, burning with love that outshines night. Every shadow falls away, washed by colors of the breaking day. Stay with me till morning's bright, till gold replaces fading white. Forever in this gentle light, two hearts finding light. In the half-light, two hearts, one light, half-light.
I never felt so valid, broken and raw, piano centered.
Strings that explode near cry eyeballs, strapped a last ship triumphant. I kept your sweater in a drawer. I never had the courage to explore. It smells like nights we used to save, like whispered dreams we couldn't break. Every part of you I kept feels heavier the more I wept. I swear the silence learned your name and whispered it into my shame. I tried to tell you I was scared,
The fear is louder when it's shared.
and every truth we try to hide just carved its way from deep inside.
I held your shadow in my chest.
It stayed longer than all the rest, and in the dark I realized love hurts most when it survives. I never told you what it costs to love you and stay lost. This is the weight I never said, the words that lived inside my head. I held them tight until they bled, until they left my heart unread. You were the ache I couldn't free, the silent bruise no one could see. I broke myself so quietly,
Just trying to stay.
what you needed me to be.
I loved you more than I loved myself, and that's why I had to leave. I carried pieces of your fears until they blended with my tears. You said we'd heal, but healing slips when truth is shaking on your lips. I tried to be the calm you sought, but storms are born from every thought. And when I looked into your eyes, I saw the place where I collapsed.
This is the weight I never said, the pages of the life we shared. You love the dream inside my head, but not the parts of me that bled. You were the ache that made me stay, the hope that slowly slipped away. I tried, I swear it, in every way,
But some hearts break.
when asked to stay.
Let me go, let me fall. I can't keep carrying it all.
Every whisper, every call, I loved you until I lost it all. This was the weight I never said, the quiet truth that left me dead. But now I free. When silence learns to tremble, I hear your heartbeat through the cracks, and something warm begins to rise, pulling morning from the black.
I've been wandering through quiet rooms, rooms that echoed old perfumes, fragments of a world I knew before it slipped from me to you. My footsteps trembled in the dust, my hands still shaking out of trust. But when your shadow touched the door, the quiet wasn't quiet anymore.
I carried storms beneath my ribs, the kind no one could see or fix. Nights stretched long like fragile threads, pulling tight between unsaid.
But suddenly your gentle sound shifted something deep unbound. A single breath, a softened ache, a spark before the quiet breaks.
And all the fears I used to chase
Start folding into life.
after the quiet breaks. Your voice becomes the dawn I chase. Every shadow falls apart, drifting from my weary heart. The darkness tries but never stays. Not after the quiet breaks.
I learned to speak without a sound, to hide the places I've been drowned. But then you touched my trembling mind and showed me hope I left behind. You lit the corners I forgot, the dreams I swore I never'd spot. You held the pieces that I dropped and whispered softly, you're enough.
And now the echoes finally shake, like walls that time will never make. After the quiet breaks, you lift the weight the night creates. Every tear that filled the dark turns to rivers through my heart. And step by step the morning wakes. I rise as the quiet breaks. I rise as the quiet breaks.
You stayed when all the colors bled.
You stayed when light had turned to red.
Your touch rewrote the words I kept.
The ones I hid, the ones I wear.
And now I breathe a different air.
One born from gentleness you shared.
You held my soul until it shook.
Until the quiet finally broke. After the quiet breaks, I feel the world beneath me quake. The past unravels thread by thread, no longer whispering in my head. I stand in light that overtakes. I rise.
alternative, said it get nostalgia, said it get futuristic.
I hope to fair goes through a dream where everything was in between. They almost love, they almost fear, they almost future drawing near.
You touched my hand but never stayed. A puzzle piece that slipped away. But even things we never claimed still carry echoes of our names.
And I keep wondering if we were meant to be a story half unwritten, half unspelled.
You were the glow behind the haze, the spark that flickered through my days. But some let's fade before they shine. Not every path becomes a lie.
We were silhouettes we never chased, drawn in the sky but left half traced. Two constellations out of place, too close to fall, too far to chase.
We were our echoes, time erased. Soft goodbyes with no one blamed.
Maybe love just leaves a taste as we miss lost and name unnamed. Some stories don't end. They dissolve into the space between us. We were silhouettes we never chased, written in shadows, never faced. Two fading stars that never fell, two prayers the universe withheld.
We were moments never placed. Beautiful, broken, interlaced. Sometimes the things we can't embrace are the ones that stay the names will never call again.
I'm calling out from somewhere quiet, where your name still echoes, even when I try to forget.
Yeah, I held your photograph tonight. My fingers shaking in the light. It felt like touching something gone. A shadow stitch where you belong. The room felt heavy with your breath, the kind that stays after a death. I swear I heard you in the walls, a memory that still
Remembers me.
I tried to speak your name out loud, but every syllable was drowned. There's something fragile in the sound, like hope that never found its ground. I kept the things you left behind, the kind of pain that's intertwined with pieces I can't separate. Your love was warm, you're leaving great.
If breaking is the way we learn, then tell me why it's still
If I
break. Will you remember me? The version of myself you used to see, the one who held you through the night, oh, the one who swore we'd be alright.
gave your memories back. In every place I touch still lakes, nothing's empty like the space you made.
I try to always look too fast to keep on built on our past, but even walls collapse with time, and even hope can lose its fire. If I break, will you remember me? The eyes that held your storms at sea. I tried to stay, I tried to breathe, but some things hurt more than they leave. If I fall, will you recall the days we walked through fire just to stay? Tell me why love had to be the thing that finally unraveled me.
Let me scream the pain undone. Let me crack beneath the sun. Let me fall, let me be. Sometimes breaking sets us free.
Let the shadows hear my plea. Let the hurt dissolve in me. If goodbye was destiny, why does it still bleed? If I break, will you remember me? Not who I was, but who I tried to be. I burned through storms you couldn't see. Oh, I held your heart while losing me. If I fall, will you still say my name, or bury it beneath the blame? Oh, love, before I finally leave, tell me what you'll keep of me.
Just one piece,
Just one breath,
just something swung.
just something small you won't forget.
Remember me
Just one breath,
in the quiet, in the ache.
in the quiet, in the ache, in the places we broke.
After the last goodbye,
I found the letter that you wrote before the ending caught your throat. You said you loved me through the pain, but love alone can't beat the rain. I held the pages like they burned, every line a lesson learned. The hardest part of saying wise, knowing when it's time to try to let go. After the last goodbye, I'm learning how to breathe without your name. I'm tracing every scar we left behind, turning all the hurt into a flame. After the last goodbye, I'm finding pieces of the things we couldn't save. Some love lives, some love dies, but mine still was. Yours once stayed.
I kept the sweater that you wore that night we fell apart once more. When silence held us tighter than the promises we failed to mend. I loved you with the quiet hope that someday we would learn to cope. But futures cracked like brittle ice when truth was colder than the lies. We stood in storms we couldn't fight, two fading souls too tired for light. Maybe holding on was just another way to hide our trust.
If leaving means we both can heal, then maybe love was always real, just never real. After the last goodbye, I'm learning how to walk where we once stayed, picking up the pieces of our time. to the